Joining us is the independent MP Allegra Spender. Allegra, we'll start with that money now that it's going to be kicked into synagogues and mosques around Australia. The extra money, do you support that? Obviously you do.
I support that hugely, and I'm really grateful. I've just been going through the list, and I know that there are a number of locations in my electorate who will be receiving that money, because I have one of the biggest Jewish communities in my electorate, and my community, and the Jewish community in particular in Wentworth, wants to feel safe. I take the words of Mike Burgess very seriously. We need to come together as a country, and we need to protect all of our citizens and ensure that we can continue to be the most successful multicultural country in the world. Sure. And that sort of safety of our civilians is critical.
Sorry, I was just going to say then, I know you said they want to feel safe. Do your constituents say they feel safe?
Look, I think it's been an incredibly hard time. I think the last 2 weeks has been an awful time for the Jewish community in Australia. They firstly, so many of the Jewish community, I think almost everyone that I have spoken to in Wentworth has personal connections with Israel, has family, friends. I had a friend of mine has just gone to Israel to help provide, humanitarian support to the Israeli people. So there are very deep connections there. So that they are traumatised by that, but also by some of the hate that has gone on in Australia. And, on the weekend, I was out campaigning for the Yes campaign, and I saw one of my volunteers, and I said, "Oh, where's your wife?" And he said, "Oh, they had some graffiti in front of their house that was anti-Semitic, and his wife didn't feel confident to come out." And that's just appalling. So there is that across the country, and I guess my appeal is with Mike Burgess. We need to make sure that what happens overseas doesn't destroy the incredibly wonderful, community that we have in this country.
Allegra, what did you make of the Greens introducing a motion to the chamber to support a ceasefire as well as opposing Israel's invasion of Gaza? It was ultimately unsuccessful, but what were your thoughts on the Greens' move?
Look, the Greens said that Israel, tried to remove a part of the government's motion that Israel has a right to defend itself. And I think we need to be honest with ourselves. If there was a terrorist attack like Israel has just been through, we as Australians, if that happened here, we would expect the Australian government to defend us. And I think we should expect the Israeli government to defend itself. We should also expect the Israeli government, to follow the rules of law, rules of war, and, absolutely, avoid civilian casualties. These are critical. But I did not agree with that, resolution, and I was very pleased to see the Parliament get behind the government's motion.
Yeah, look, the Greens have had a fairly consistent view all along regarding this conflict, but does this show that they're out of step?
Look, I think that they've had a very consistent view with this, and I think the thing that was most disappointing to me was that they didn't vote with the rest of the Parliament on condemning the Hamas attack. And I honestly think that, whatever your position, whatever people's, and I feel it too, I am very concerned for the Palestinian people right now. But whatever your position on that is, you absolutely have to condemn the Hamas attack, because it was a terrorist attack on civilians, on children, on grandparents. It was appalling. And
just finally, two of your Teal colleagues got behind the Greens this week in an attempt to condemn Israeli war crimes. I know you've got a different view to this, and you've been very strong on this all week, but are you worried about being tarred with that brush from those two Teals?
Look, we don't call ourselves the Teals. It's the media who calls us the Teals.
The Teal
I've always said I'm a community independent. Yeah, you call us the Teal independents. But, the truth is that I've been really clear from the start that, my job is first and foremost to represent my community. And, I feel like I have been very, very consistent on that. I've been clear on why I think it is so important. And I think I have probably more insight on a bunch of these issues because of my community and because of their deep connections with Israel and understanding, I think, of the complexities of it. So, I disagree. I've been very clear that I disagreed with Kylie and Sophie on that. But I also thought it was, absolutely appropriate. They voted with the rest of the Parliament to condemn the Hamas attack.
Allegra Spender, thanks as always for your time. We'll talk to you soon.